The city of Sinjar immediately fled upon hearing news that ISIS militants were fast approaching. Amid the panic, Dunya's older brother says his father refused to leave.
We all tried hard to convince my dad, but he refused to go. He said it would be a humiliation. I decided I couldn't let them capture the girls and women, so we left.
The family didn't make it far in their car before they ran into ISIS fighters, shooting at fleeing civilians on a bridge. I jumped out of the car and off the bridge, Aziza says, because I was scared of ISIS. The family of 12 fled on foot up Sinjar Mountain, from the frying pan into the fire.
If we were able to find a tree where we could rest in the shade, we were lucky. For the first 4 days, we had no food, only water. Any bread we found, we fed to the little kids to keep them alive.
The family lasted a few more days, thanks to aid drops from the sky and several sheep that they caught and slaughtered. But they realized they wouldn't survive much longer unless they escaped. The family says they tried and failed several times to get on board a helicopter to escape the mountain. When our chopper landed, they say they were lucky that they were the only people around in that particular area. But the fact that in that chaos, all of them were able to get on board the aircraft is just short of a miracle. Now safe in Iraqi Kurdistan, the Hamid family lives like thousands of other refugees on a few square feet of bare concrete. On Tuesday, the family got amazing news, a phone call from their missing father. He escaped ISIS and made it up to Sinjar Mountain. Like thousands of Iraqis on the run, the Hamid family's story is one of grit and survival against terrifying odds. It is a story that's far from over. Now, Wolf, the Hamid family, they are lucky because they got off on a helicopter. Many, many more people trying to escape Sinjar Mountain have chosen to take an arduous and dangerous 12 to 15-hour trek by foot to neighboring Syria. And we're hearing more and more about families who lost loved ones on that marathon hike through the desert, who quite literally left loved ones behind as they succumbed to dehydration and the extreme heat. So this family is lucky. They are now, like so many other families, tens of thousands now, trying to figure out how to feed themselves as refugees here in this part of Iraqi Kurdistan. There is not an organized system for feeding these people, for giving them medical care. What is kind of heartwarming is seeing the Kurds of this city that I'm in stepping up and trying to help this refugee population, whether it's bringing them clothes or helping them wash out the derelict buildings that they are now sleeping in, or just bringing them bowls of soup. And that building is derelict indeed, sort of half built, if you will. You know, it's hard to believe, Ivan, you and your people on the helicopter. We all saw the video as you guys brought out about 20 of these refugees, including Aziza and her family, the dad, of course, left behind. But let's keep some perspective. There are at least 10,000, maybe 20,000 people on top of that mountain who are still waiting for help right now. Isn't that right? I mean, the figures are hard to nail down. I've heard one senior Kurdish official is saying it may be as much as 70,000. We saw hundreds on the ground, but there's no question from what the family told us that the conditions there were very, very grim. They said everybody was trying to survive. They were rationing out, one family we talked to, rationing out what little water they had in bottle caps and taking turns taking sips of that water. Some of the aid is getting to the people, but it's also first come, first serve. When bags come raining out of aircraft in the sky, it's the strongest and fittest who can get a hold of it. And a brother of Aziza and Dunya, he was so worried that his children might die from hunger and starvation that he took a dangerous hike back down the mountain towards the city of Sinjar, where ISIS were, to sneak some food back up the mountain. Wolf. And there are so many just like Aziza. Thanks for that reporting, Ivan Watson, who's
on the scene for us, doing an amazing job for all of us, all of our viewers in the United States and around the world.